Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Adventures with Dice. I'm Rob, and today is another early access video for my patrons on Patreon. There we go. If you would like early access videos, exclusive content that I'm putting out, there's a variety of things on there that you can get. The link for my Patreon page is in the description of the videos. Check it out, join us over there if you so wish. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to videos. And today we're going to be talking about something I got asked about quite a bit after one of my last videos. I did a video on I could only keep 6 RPG books. And I had mentioned about doing possibly a supplements one, and I had several people message me or comment and ask about me doing a supplement video. My top 5 or 6 supplements. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk about the top 5 supplements, game book supplements that I find to be a must-have. And granted, this is going to vary depending on the games that you play and so on and so forth. So it's not necessarily a top 5 that I think you should get, because some of this, if you don't play the game, then it's going to be useless to you. So, again, like in my other video, I would challenge any of the other YouTubers out there to do their own list, and any of my viewers to put your list in the comments if you don't want to make a video, because I love reading that stuff. But let's jump right in, all right? So let's talk about what are the top 5 RPG supplement books for me. So my first 2 are from the same game company, but not necessarily the same game. The first one, I would have to go with the DCC Annual Volume 1. There is no Volume 2. I don't know. I think they thought about doing a Volume 2, but they never did it. This, if you play DCC, I think it's kind of a must-have. Like, you don't have to have it, but it adds so much cool stuff to the game. It's really hard to say you shouldn't get it. I find it to be indispensable. I use it all the time with my DCC games. It's a key book in my opinion. Yes, you can play everything straight out of the core book. You don't have to have this, but if you really want to add some depth to your game, pick up the DCC Annual Volume 1. Not Volume 2. You might be waiting a while on Volume 2. But yeah, it is fantastic. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. And one of the dumbest things in it that I saw was the section on magical mustaches. And then when I read it, I was like, okay, so that's not dumb. That's actually really cool. Everything in this has been really cool. There's all kind of information, backgrounds on gods and stuff. A lot of them from the main rule book that they didn't flesh out for the clerics. A lot of those are fleshed out in here, plus some new stuff. There's new patrons in here for your magic users, your elves. There's stuff on magical swords in here. And there's just a lot of really cool content in this book to add to your DCC game. My kids got me this for Father's Day this past year, and I find it to be indispensable. I love it. So that's my first one. Now, they are not in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the best. This is just my top 5, because if I was doing all 5 from one game line, maybe, but they're not in any particular order other than the way I stack them on the table. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about, I've actually done a video on this book, and it is put out by Goodman Games, same people that put out DCC, and it's usable with DCC, but it's kind of system agnostic. You can use it with any fantasy system, and that is the Dungeon Alphabet book, which again seems like a kind of weird idea, but it's really cool. It just has tons and tons of charts and cool ideas for everything you can imagine, for filling up dungeons, to, for types of weird magic, to hallways and doors, and making them special, not just your average, oh, it's a door. But, there's all kind of stuff on oozes. There's just, different things on puzzles in here. And it can be used no matter what fantasy game you're playing, and that I love, because I use this a lot. I run multiple fantasy game systems, and this book comes into use in all of them. So even if you don't play DCC, if you are looking for something to help you with stocking your dungeons for games, highly recommend this. I think even hardback is like 20 or 25 bucks, something like that. So it's not very expensive. But those two are both from Goodman Games. My next one on the list is, no surprise here, the Jeffersontown setting guide from Dark Places and Demogorgons. If you watch this channel for any amount of time, you know that I love this game, right? And this was the second book I picked up for it. The core book has a smattering of information in the back of it about J-Town, but this book is solely dedicated to Jeffersontown and the NPCs and all the cool stuff, the rumors and everything in the town. It is just a plethora of information for running a 80s mystery type game. And there are multiple systems for doing that. This is fairly system agnostic as well. So if you didn't want to use Dark Places and Demogorgons, you could use this with another system, like if you play Kids on Bikes or something like that. But it's really good. I mean, it even has stuff in here for you working out your class schedule for high school and everything. It's a fantastic book. I cannot sing praises high enough about this book. My next one, number 4 on the list, is, let me see if I can find the author's name. Old man eyes here. I'll have to look on the inside. Dave Thumavore. He has a YouTube channel as well. He does a lot of different games on there. I've enjoyed watching some of his videos. But it is Age of Snakes Journal Edition for ICRPG. And this is a great supplement because it has a 3-part mini campaign in it, which is really cool. It has a ton of information on it's 150 years after the current timeline in the book, and it's a new age of snakes. The snake men are trying to take over. There's a new snake lord basically, and it has tons of information on him, on how to run the encounters. It's just a fantastic book. And then the last half of the book is literally just done as a journal where you can keep track of everything that happens in your game. And there's a full set of, if you get the PDF version off of DriveThruRPG, it has all of the cardboard standees for all the different monsters and creatures and stuff. It's just a really fun adventure. It's got some characters in here that you can pull out and play with right away. They are not starter level characters. They are boosted. They've got some better loot and stats than starter level characters. Because this is kind of it could be a potentially really rough, deadly adventure. But it's got those, if you just wanted to, photocopy those or print them out from the PDF, cut them out, hand them out to your friends one night, and just sit down and play. Fantastic job on this. This is a really, really good book. It is cheap to get. I think it was 12 bucks or something like that. But it's a fantastic book. I really, really enjoyed reading this. So my fifth one that I find to be indispensable is a little bit odd, okay? Because it's kind of a game book, but not a game book. It is called Wanderings, a Gothic roll and read table. It's edited and collected by Geek Gamers, who also has a YouTube channel where she specializes in solo role-playing. And while I don't particularly get behind the idea of solo role-playing all that much, because to me it's just you're playing a board game. To me, role-playing involves other people. But, hey, that's just me. This is a neat little book that is, let's say, it's not very long, maybe 100 pages, 80-something pages. But, every page or two is an excerpt from some Gothic horror scene from a book of regular literature, but the scenes, you read this page or two and it really sets the stage in your mind for some kind of cool encounter that's about to happen. And I find that this can be very, very useful when you are doing something. It's especially useful for like gothic horror, but if you're doing any kind of horror or you want some kind of spooky, Halloween's coming up, maybe you want to do some spooky encounters for your game, something like this is really cool because you can just flip to a page randomly, read. It's not like you have to read the whole book because none of it's connected. Each page is basically from a different book, a different story, or different chapters of books. But it's just kind of a weird one because each one just, you read it and it sets a mental picture for you. And as a game master, to me, that's really, really helpful. Because, we do it all the time. We see a movie and we're like, oh man, this would be great as a role-playing game or a one-shot or whatever. Same kind of thing here. You read a page or two out of this and you're like, wow, that would be a cool start for this encounter or a cool ending for this encounter. And it's just basically, it's a book of themed ideas. And there's no mechanics in it. It's literally just excerpts from classic literature. So I highly recommend checking it out, regardless of what system you play. I found it to be a lot of fun. I haven't read the whole thing. I flipped through it and picked out probably 10 different entries that I've used. But it's really neat. It's a cool little book. So that's my top 5 like must-haves that I use, but it's also because of the games that I play. Like I said, maybe you play 5th edition D&D and there's certain games that or certain books you just have to have for that. Or maybe you play an OSR game like OSE or Swords and Wizardry or something, and there are certain books you just feel you have to have for that. If you've got your list of your top 5 supplements, keep in mind in this video we're talking about supplements, right? Not rule books. Rule books, that was the last video. This video is straight up about supplements. So if you've got a list of your top 5 supplements and you want to put them in the comments below, that'd be fantastic. If you like to make videos and put them up on YouTube, hey, do a response video to this and put a video up telling me about your top 5 supplement books for the games that you play. I'd love to hear about it. But it's just a real quick video that I was putting up because some of my viewers asked me to. And like I said, this is early access, so Patreon's getting it first. Patrons on Patreon are getting it first. God, that word always kills me. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to help support the channel, go check out my Patreon page. Link is in the description. Also have Amazon wish list and all that stuff in there. My game group page on Facebook, which you can connect with me and we can talk on there if you want to. Whatever, however, until next time, my friends, good gaming and good luck.